Hey guys, Matt Miller here with Political Brawl News. Watch all hell break loose in Congress when punk Democrat Maxwell Frost decides to insult Elon Musk and Donald Trump personally during a hearing. Nancy Mace and Marjorie Taylor Greene, don't let them get away with it. Check it out right here.
Democrat colleagues across the aisle are complaining and pitching tantrums over Elon Musk and his Doge teams cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from the executive branch and the federal government. Claiming this is unconstitutional is an outright lie. Article 2 of the Constitution clearly states that the executive power shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. President Trump exercised that power by appointing Mr. Elon Musk as a special government employee. The president, via executive order, created the U.S. Doge service within the former U.S. Digital Service to implement the president's Doge agenda by modernizing federal technology and software to maximize governmental efficiency and productivity. Doge has been brought in exactly like the U.S. Digital Service during President Obama's tenure. This is not unconstitutional. 72% of Americans, this is on both sides of the aisles, you guys. These are people in your district, these are people in my district, agree that we need to cut the ridiculous amount of waste, fraud, and abuse because Americans, all of us together, are $36 trillion in debt. $36 trillion in debt is what should be unconstitutional. Not doing everything we can to save the American people their hard-earned tax dollars. You can protest all you want outside of departments of this government. You can protest all you want, but the American people disagree with you. You're protecting the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is not a business. Those are not real jobs producing federal revenue. By the way, they're consuming taxpayer dollars. Those jobs are paid for by the American tax people who work real jobs, earn real income, pay federal taxes, and then pay these federal employees. Federal employees do not deserve their jobs. Federal employees do not deserve their paychecks. And these are jobs that can be fired at will. But you want to know why? The American people can't pay for it anymore. We cannot afford it. $36 trillion in debt. If you want to make that your platform, your hill to die on, go ahead, because 72% of Americans agree with Doge, agree with cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse, and agree with what this committee is supposed to be about, oversight. So continue your temper tantrums. I would love to win the midterms. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair recognizes Mr. Frost from Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate it. You know, in the mission statement that you've put out for this committee, it says it's to ensure that the economy, efficiency, effectiveness, and accountability of the federal government, which I think we all agree on. We all want to combat waste, fraud, and abuse. But the thing is that y'all are all looking in the wrong places. You want to talk about making cuts to things like Medicaid, which, by the way, over 35% of all the children in this country are covered under Medicaid. Over 100,000 people in my district are covered under Medicaid. People like the grifter-in-chief Trump and President Musk are openly using their public offices to enrich themselves to the tune of billions of dollars. So if we want to look at waste, fraud, and abuse, which I'm down to do, why is there complete silence on the other side of the aisle about looking at the complete grifter that is the President of the United States and the richest man on the earth, which is looking into things like Social Security and different things like that? Why don't we investigate the real corruption?
Hold off. Point of order.
I reclaim my time.
Point of order.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Hold off. There was a point of order when you said something. Who asked for it? Mr. Higgins.
I can refer to Elon Musk as the president.
I don't believe the First Amendment has been suspended in this committee yet.
Yeah, y'all were fine with one of your other members talking about fighting someone just a few weeks ago. Well, did anyone on our
Mr.
side
Frost,
make a meme
Mr. Frost,
coin
Mr.
right after
Frost.
being elected president of the United States?
Mr. Frost, before we proceed on all of this,
Mr. Chairman?
would you like to hold on? I'm the chairman. Recognize Ms. Frost, and we'll recognize you. Would you like to revise your remark with respect to improperly identifying the President of the United States?
I'll say President Musk and grifter and cheap Trump.
All right.
Grifter and cheap
Hey,
Trump.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Wait a second.
If I wanted to challenge someone to a fight, they would know it. Thank you.
So I'm all for feistiness and scrappiness from our lawmakers. You know, I love to see it, and they're not afraid to speak out against the powers that be. But I will say, I think this guy, you know, is just being disrespectful for disrespectful's sake. So I thought that was kind of stupid. But, you know, I'm not one to shy away from scrappy politics and our politicians being unfiltered. I don't want them to be perfectly polished and buttoned up and polite and phony all the time. I'd rather see stuff like this, but I think that this guy didn't make his point very well. What he's trying to say is he's trying to pin Republicans with trying to cut Medicaid and Social Security, which he knows and the Democrats know that are trying to push this onto Donald Trump, that most of the older generations in the United States are going to reject that. If they actually believe that the Republicans are trying to cut these programs that are so coveted, that's going to turn America against them. But it's just not true. Look at Donald Trump and his allies have responded to this over and over again. This is not where they're making cuts. They don't want to cut Medicaid. They don't want to cut Social Security. What they want to do is cut frivolous DEI programs, ideologically driven programs, things that, as Marjorie Taylor Greene said, are fake jobs. They don't produce value for the taxpayer. And I know a lot of these people, they really enjoy their cushy, low performance bar job that they failed upwards to getting. And they get to sit around all day, either at home in their pajamas or in their nice, cushy offices. Most of them are actually, you know, they want to work from home. They don't even want to go into the office and put on a suit. They enjoy that, but they're not actually working for the American people. What's the return on investment, right? If we can cut all of these frivolous programs, most of which, the ones that Doge is looking at least, are ideologically driven programs. They're leftist, they're woke. It's like the equivalent of somebody saying, hey, Congress, I want $3 million to go hire 100 gender studies majors and activists, and we're going to go to Eastern Europe and do DEI programs. And then somebody, you know, Congress at some point approved that budget. And we know that there's all sorts of corruption with that process too. But this is what Doge is meant for. This is what we're trying to identify and eliminate, is corrupt, ideologically driven waste in our government. Our government should be paying for, meaning us, the taxpayer, paying for necessary services like the fire department, like the police, like the military, like our infrastructure and roadways. That's what our tax dollars should go to. And if it's not absolutely 100% necessary for the American taxpayer, then it should not be getting paid for by government. It should not be a government department. There should be a very high burden of proof when we open up a new bureaucracy in the federal government. Why do we actually need this? And what exactly is it going to be doing? What are its deliverables? What metrics is the performance going to be based on or measured by? And how are we going to tell if this is actually in the American people's interest? If you can answer all those questions and say, how is this going to be measured? How is success going to be measured? How is this in the American people's interest? And there are clear, definitive answers for that, then maybe it's worth expanding the government. I would say almost never is that the case. And we have blown up the scale of government, the federal Washington, D.C. bureaucracy, so unbelievably big that it's absurd at this point, and it needs a hatchet job like this to cut it down to size. Many on the left don't understand this because they think in different terms. They think that the government is their ally. They think the bigger the government, the more powerful and authoritative the government, the better. And raising taxes means rich people get taxed. They say tax the rich. So they think that this is actually a travesty. This is a catastrophe for them. Cutting down the government, making sure that tax dollars aren't wasted, making sure that people who work hard for their paycheck and entrepreneurs who build businesses can keep more of what they've actually created in the free market. and letting them reinvest it, letting them spend it as consumers. This is all good for the economy. If you actually know how economics works, and unfortunately, not to pile on or sound rude here, but a lot of these left-wingers, these ideologues who care about things like DEI programs, they really don't understand math or economics very well. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this clip in the comments. Do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nancy Mace did a good job here? If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you guys get notified when we post brand new videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.